Hey guys, it's DC and welcome to the Soap Sanctuary, where all soap lovers are welcome. This is my General Hospital week in review. Everyone is scared of Carly. I've got my notes right here and I'm ready to go, guys. You know what's crazy? You gotta love technology because I literally just typed up my notes for this review on my phone and just sent it to my printer. I didn't have to even write it out. You gotta love technology, don't you guys? You gotta love it. But anyways, guys, let's not waste no time. Let me just get right into this review. You know, watching this week, I kind of began to realize why I love Nina so much, because I had to ask myself a question. I said, DC, why do you love Nina so much? Are you just being a contrarian for contrarian's sake? Why do you love Nina so much? And as I was watching this week's GH, I was like, I realized why I love Nina so much. It's because she's not afraid of Carly. This is why I love her character so much. Nina is not afraid of Carly. Now, see, the thing about it is I feel like everyone in Port Charles is afraid of Carly. Ava, sometimes Nicholas, Olivia, the Quartermains. Well, not really the Quartermains. They just despise her. You know, sometimes Sunny. Brett is not afraid of Carly, which is weird considering the things that she's done in town. Maxie was so scared of Carly that she snitched on Nina to her, which I didn't really get that.
I want to know what she knew and when. And I want to know how and when you found out.
I did not know when I planned your wedding, okay? I swear. I didn't find out till this morning when Nina came to me, and she was really upset and very remorseful. She said she made a terrible mistake.
Mistake. Is that what we're calling it?
Considering her loyalty, but it's like everybody's afraid of Carly on this show. And I think that's what I loved about Nina, is that she's not afraid of Carly, because from what I know, and yes, there was Claudia Zakara and Faith Roscoe, but let's be real, they cowered in Carly's presence over time, you know, like everybody else. The thing about it is that when it comes to Carly, there was only two other women that I can think of that were not afraid to stick it to Carly. And they both happen to be best friends. Can you guys think of it, what I'm talking about here? Does anybody's names come to mind when I mention that? If you guessed Brenda Barrett, and Robin Scorpio Drake, you are correct. Ding, 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 ding.
And you know what? You did it because you were jealous. Yeah, you were jealous. Because you were afraid that you couldn't give Jason the family that you knew I could. All because you were HIV positive. Wow, yeah, I said it. You might fool the rest of the world, inspire pity and admiration for your courageous struggle. I know you for the snake that you are. Robin, you're finished in this town. Guess what? Your miracle drug didn't work. And you know what? You probably knew that it wouldn't. You played on Jason because he was vulnerable. Yeah, you thought, hey, if he feels obligated to me, I can slither my way back into his life. You have nothing else to offer him. Certainly not the sex he was used to having.
Hey, okay, enough.
No, it's not enough. It is just starting. Come on.
Coming back here is like coming back to high school. I mean, really? Is this what people do these days? We're taking scissors and cutting up each other's wedding dresses?
Well, obviously, whoever did that is trying to sabotage your wedding.
Whoever did that. We both know who did that.
No, you're right.
Carly did it. Well, let me tell you something. That girl is not going to get away with it.
Robin, okay, when it comes down to those two, let me break it down first. I think between the two, Robin intimidated Carly the most, right? Because Robin is the only other woman who has the love and the affection and the genuine sentiment of the hearts of Sunny and Jason. Brenda only has Sunny in that regard, right? But Robin has both. And Carly is the only other woman to have both as well. Come on in, Ben. My cat is like interrupting. Come on in. You already interrupted the show. Come on in, Ben. Come on in. You already interrupted things, man. Interrupted. Go ahead and push the door open. Go ahead. So, to me, I feel like looking at it in that sense, like, Robin is the only other woman to, and you guys saw the clip. I mean, man, GH was raw back then. GH was raw. I don't think they could get away with saying stuff like that now. But GH was raw back then. But even if you look at it like with Brenda too, like Brenda and Robin, they stuck it to Carly. I mean, and Robin did raise Michael when he was a baby, including half of the town. That's why I always joke around and say. But I like that they were never afraid of Carly. I like that. They didn't tremble. And you know, here's the thing. Carly's part of the Holy Trinity of GH, or what I call the triumphant trio. You know how you have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit? Well, the Holy Trinity of GH is Sonny, Carly, and Jason. I think most of you guys already know that by now in this game. I've been watching the show for like, what, almost 20 years? So I think I know this by now. I think most of you guys know it by now at this point. Out of everyone, out of the Holy Trinity, or the triumphant trio, as I even like to call it, I like Carly the most, to be honest. I like Carly the most. I really did. I like Carly the most out of everybody on there. You know, but now the triumphant trio is no longer. You know, it's totally different now. And when it comes down to even looking at Nixon Falls storyline, I honestly would have preferred they explored, even they put Sonny with Nina, but like the aftermath of his best friend falling in love with his wife. I would have wanted to see that, but I get it. Steve Burton was getting ready to go off canvas. He was leaving the show. I get it. I get it. But I would have loved to see that because there's so many years of history within that. Because now the Holy Trinity of GH is no longer. We're in a different Port Charles this day and age. You know what I'm saying? We're in a different Port Charles. Because, and honestly, what I would say too is that the writers have actually done a great job in merging the old GH from the 80s, the Luke and Laura, the Anna Devane, the Robert Scorpio, to now what was the 90s GH that came in with Sonny and Carly and all these new people that came, well, they were new back then that came in. So they actually did a good job of merging those two worlds together. And my whole thing is like, with this Holy Trinity with Carly, I'm glad there's somebody there to stand up to Carly, even if it's Nina. I have a soft spot in my heart for Nina. I don't know what it is. I have a soft spot in my heart for her. You know, I don't know if it's just like the spirit of Annie Dutton that has just fallen within her. You know,
they don't deserve to be hounded and harassed by a bitch like you. And yeah, that's what you are. You're like this rabid dog that attacks anything and everything that gets in its path. And you don't give a damn who you hurt, including poor, innocent little children. Shut up. You shut up before you're sorry. Oh yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna be sorry, but it's worth it to get to tell you what I really think about you.
But I feel for Nina, and I like Carly as well. Here's my whole thing is, Carly has not learned from her mistakes. She has not. Yes, when Nina's done some terrible things, she is pushing with Michael and Willow, but Carly has not learned from her mistakes. She has switched. This will be her, if she keeps the secret from Nina about Willow, this will be her 4th time she's kept someone from their child. First time was AJ. Second time was Nicholas. Yeah, second time was actually Nicholas that she did that.
You fixed a paternity test. Claimed to be John's father. And then lied about all of it. You kept my son away from me. Yes.
Alright, so you saw the clip, so you see I'm not lying. Alright, third time was Nina with Nell, and now she's about to do it again. And so this is why I don't feel bad for Carly, given all that's going on. Granted, she's pushing the envelope with Michael, and Michael is this golden boy of Corinthos. Michael and this weird beef that he has going on with Sonny, Michael has been privileged his whole life. Granted, he's come from Quartermain money, Corinthos money. And he's been really acting like a spoiled brat, even for a grown man, honestly. That's my take on Michael these days. But my whole thing is that when it comes to Nina, I'm okay with this. I'm on her side. I honestly, and I like that, like, she's not backing down. Ava cowers, I feel like, now when she sees Sonny, Carly, when she's Sonny and Carly. It's like she cowers around, especially Carly, she cowers around her. You're a mafiosa. I'm gonna get to Ava in a minute. Just hold on. Hold that thought. Hold that thought when it comes to Ava. Hold that thought. I'm hoping that Nina gets custody. She deserves it. She really deserves it. I mean, the only thing I think where Nina messed up, because here's the thing about Nixon Falls, you guys don't understand. She did call Carly. Let's get this clear. She called Carly. Carly was mouthing off the phone and doing all this stuff, and I would have hung up too. She called Carly. That was her first instinct, and that's, I stand by Nina. All right? It's a weird choice, but I stand by her. I stand by Nina. And anybody that comes to challenge the Holy Trinity on GH, they always have my support. They always have my support. There's no DID story with Liz as it's looking like right now in General Hospital it honestly seemed like this storyline was just a gateway because Becky Herbst, the portrayal who plays Liz, she kind of just seemed like she needed a break, which I understand. It's demanding. And I never even thought that was even a possibility because now she's going away. We don't know what that means in the soap world. They need a break or there's some contracts that they got to figure out. You know, maybe the money ain't looking right for the renewal of the contract. You know what I'm saying? That's usually what that means in soap land. That's usually what that means. Honestly, I'm not really surprised by that, and I guess we'll see where that goes. I just hope that, Liz gets a decent storyline when she comes back, but we'll see. I digress. I want to move on to Chet and Terry really quickly. I feel like I actually like Terry and Chet together, and I feel like Amy actually needs to grow up just because of the stipulations that Terry put on her, which weren't unrealistic for a boss to do that. But I like this storyline a little bit. I like it. I actually really like Chet and Terry together. I'm kind of wondering, since Chet has already gotten over the fact that she's transgender, where's more of the soap angst that we're going to see in the storyline with these two? And this is another thing I want to bring up with this. There's so many storylines going on right now on Canvas that it feels like everyone's in a rotation. You know, like I feel like Terry and Chet, we're not going to see them again for another 2 or 3 weeks. And then Brad and Britt, we did see them in the beginning of this week, which I didn't understand why Brad felt the need to give Carly advice. When I was watching that, I was just like, just shut up, 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 just shut up. Like, just shut up. You are the last person who should be giving Carly advice. You are the last person who should be giving Carly advice on anything, especially Wiley related. The last person, really, seriously. But there's so many storylines going on right now on Canvas. I feel like we're going through a rotation. And I like the balance. I like that it's an ensemble cast. But I feel like so many storylines are getting lost in the sauce as a result of this. Where sometimes I forgot where we last left off. I feel like now they're going to go back to Sasha and Brando. And then we're going to go back to Terry and Chet. And then Brad and Selena Wu. And then this Marshall thing. And we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to this Marshall storyline in a second. Like this, like in Austin Gatlin Hall. Does anyone remember if he's even still on at this point? Like, what is he doing right now? They've given this man no storyline. Britt is seeking a matchmaker. That's the best y'all got. And or her crying over Jason. Oh, you and Jason were together for like 2 seconds, man. Come on. Like, it would have been nice if we could have seen Carly, Liz, and Elizabeth mourn over Jason together. But why with Britt? That didn't make sense to me. But I guess this is a way of establishing Carly to have some friendships on Canvas because they realize she ain't got nobody. Especially now that the Holy Trinity's broken up. Because even when Olivia Falconer was at Sasha's bachelorette party, or whatever party that was, I'm like, since when did Carly or Olivia friends? That's the first thing I thought. When are they friends? I know they're co-workers, but when did they become friends? Or is it just by default at this point? You know? Whatever. Rory and Trina, let's talk about these two. I actually really like Rory and Trina together, and I'm glad she moved on from Spencer because this is my whole thing. Like, even though Esme is basura, which is Spanish for trash, I feel like he was trying to pursue Trina while he was still Esme when he came out from boarding school. And my whole thing is, if they'll cheat with you, they'll cheat on you. That's how I feel, personally. Because I feel like the way you see somebody treat somebody else is definitely an indication of how they can treat you. Even though Esme is trash, but this was before we got to see how much of a trash she was. This was before we got to see that. He was doing that to Esme. So my thing is, Trina, if he can do that to her before she was doing all this crazy stuff to Ava and all this other stuff, he can do it to you too. So I'm happy she moved on with Rory. I'm happy for that. Because this whole storyline from the beginning, I kept feeling like Trina was just too smart for this. She was too smart to be wrapped up with a guy like Spencer. You know what I mean? Her and Jocelyn just seemed way too smart for that, you know? I mean, Star Manning and Langston Kramer for One Night to Live, they had a little bit of naivete in their character. So I could see that for them, but I just feel like Jocelyn and Trina are way too strong-willed female characters. I just couldn't see her going for the stupid and the foolishness of Spencer. I just couldn't see it personally. I just couldn't. I want to talk about Spencer and his $10K a week Quartermain money. When he's like, oh, it's not Quartermain money, but the $10K a week will do. You come from Cassadine money. I would think in the balance of scales in the land of Port Charles, the city of Port Charles, that Cassadine money would trump Quartermain money. I would think so. Don't they come from like warlords and stuff like that, if I'm not mistaken? They come from like ancient civilizations. Like their history lineage goes way back. like that's the story. That's like the kind of like the backstory of the Cas9s, than opposed to the Quartermain. So the Cas9 money should be a lot more, honestly. 10K a week is more than enough. That's like what, 40K a month? Not a year, a month. But then again, he's more into royalty, so he knows what real money looks like. So I mean, I'm not mad at him, I guess. I don't know how. It clearly seems like they're trying to make Esme Felicia's daughter. So what happened was Felicia impregnated with, what is it? Not Kevin. What's the twin's name? Ryan's sperm unconsciously. Like, how do you explain this part? It's one thing if the man doesn't know the father. How do you explain this part in Felicia's part? Because Felicia was pretty active and pretty aware during all these times. Like, when did this happen? During BJ's, when BJ died and Maxie received BJ's heart. Like, when was the time period this happened? But okay, I don't know. Well, he must have stolen Felicia's eggs. That's the only thing I can think of. He must have stolen Felicia's eggs. That's the only thing that would make sense. Because I don't see Felicia giving birth to someone and not knowing about it. Laura, yes. No offense. But Felicia, no. I just don't see that for Felicia. Or Anna Devane. I just don't see that for them. I don't see that storyline working for them. Carly, I could see that working for Carly, but not Felicia. I just couldn't. Not from what I've seen of her, no. Not from what I see of her. In Brooklyn and this music producer storyline, I honestly thought we were done with this storyline ages ago. So I don't know where this is supposed to go, but okay. We'll see it through. I'll oblige you. I'll oblige you on it. I'll oblige you. How about that? I'll oblige you on that. This Leo storyline, I want to jump to that one next, the Leo storyline and his autism. I really like this storyline. It's very true to nature, and I do like that the actor, the kid who plays Leo, he's actually autistic in real life, I believe. I'm not misquoting. And it actually reminds me of when All My Children had the real life war veteran hero. I think his name was JR something. And he came on, he was injured and battled, and it was just a realistic depiction, and I appreciated that. And I like it when soaps do that. I like it when soaps actually make it more real like that. So I actually like this storyline, and I like that hopefully we can see what it's like for even an autistic kid to grow up into an adult, because I feel like we were supposed to see that with Theo on Days, and I don't feel like we ever got that. It's not saying that we need to be reminded that he has it every 2 seconds, but it would just be nice to see that bridge of that. That makes sense. You know what I mean? It would just be nice to see that. Now, with Marshall and TJ, I want to start with this one, with Hat Daddy Ashford. I love the scenes between Marshall and TJ. It's been giving TJ actually really great material, great acting scenes, because honestly, at first, I wasn't feeling the new actor who played TJ. I wasn't feeling him at first. But seeing those scenes of him and Marshall, I kind of loved it. I was like, they need to have them all more. I like this. The only problem with this is I'm really not invested in the storyline with Marshall anymore. I'm not invested. I'm not invested because it's one of those things where I feel like I don't think the writers even know where the storyline is going anymore. You ever watch a storyline in a soap and you're like, do the writers even know where this is going? Like, I think the last time I had seen a storyline like that where the writers didn't know where the hell it was going was the Jimin Kim storyline, The Young and the Restless. If you don't remember, I think Jimin Kim was like a foreign investor from Japan or something, and he came in and he was murdered, and it was like a whole murder mystery. And I think Jack was like at the height of it, if I'm not mistaken. And I think it was David Chow who ended up killing Jimin Kim. But that went on for like a year and a half, to the point where it was clear the writers even forgot about that. And I was like, holy crap, we got to fill in this blank. And I think when David Chow came on, they're like, okay, perfect. Like, David Chow is here. Like, we'll go ahead and make him the murderer. Perfect. That ties up that. And that ties up his run on The Young Restless. I think that's what happened with that, honestly. Honestly, this trial is actually pretty good. I miss the days when soaps had like everybody in the room for a trial, but I get this is not a murder case, it's a custody case, so it's a lot different. Honestly, for me, I like that Nina is not backing down. She's not backing down. I don't think Nina is necessarily right, because even with Nixon Falls and all that stuff, I don't think Nina's right. Let me be clear. I don't think Nina's right, but I see where she's coming from. I see where Nina is coming from. I don't think she's right. So I want to make that clear. I'm not co-signing Nina, but I see where she's coming from. And I like that she stands up to Carly. Even though she's made a few mistakes, she did kidnap Avery. You know, she did a lot of things. And the thing with Sonny was that the being that took the cake. Now with Sonny, it does give the appearance like he's choosing Nina over his family, which is a bit messed up. And even to just say, oh, it almost like he's testifying. Of course, he's testifying on her behalf, but it's like he's against Michael in this case. And I don't know why they're trying to build this rivalry between Michael and Sonny. Is like Sonny gonna shoot him by accident or something? Is that what's gonna happen? That's what I can think of. Because honestly, with Sonny as a character, I really did not enjoy Sonny. But to be honest, with this storyline, he's like, ever since Nixon Falls, he's softened as a character. He seems more human. It's almost like when they did the thing where he went to go revisit his old apartment in New York City when he went to, and he was reminded of visions of his stepfather, Deke. Sonny became a lot more human to me after those type of moments. And I like that he's just not this regular, just this mild guy who's so arrogant. Because Sonny's been really arrogant as a character. Y'all have to admit this. Even for my Sonny fans, Sonny was a very arrogant character. But Sonny has softened a little bit. You know what I mean? He's softened a bit. And I like this. And I like that Nina is bringing him out of it, bring this side out of him. The only other woman I've seen bring that out of Sonny, besides his own daughters, is Robin Scorpio. And that's obviously because of the connection they share with Stone. And if you guys see my top 7 soap opera characters of all time, I put Robin as #1, which I don't think a lot of people would agree with that choice. But I knew that #1 choice had to be from someone I've seen eyewitness on the soaps from my time, you know, and not just what's the general consensus. Like everyone's expecting it to be, you know, Marlena Evans or Erica Kane. Erica Kane to me was a bit of a one-note character. She was, but that doesn't take away from the talent of Susan Lucci, because Erica Kane is a legendary character, but Erica Kane was very selfish. She was very vapid. She was very vain. It was all about Erica Kane, right? Marlena was a little more selfless. But for me, Sonny has really changed his character now. I can actually really get into Sonny and who he is at this point, where it was tough to do that before. It was really tough for me. It was really tough for me to get into the Holy Trinity. Even when Britt was on the run with Jason was more enjoyable. When the Holy Trinity is not together, they're just more enjoyable people. I don't know what it is. But everyone in town feels like they're scared of Carly. And I'm like, what is going on with these people? Like, everyone's shooketh. Ava Jerome, the mafioso of them all. And let me just talk about Ava for a quick second. This whole negotiating with Nicholas and the stuff you want for your marriage, I get it. But I'm like, Ava, like, do you know who you are? Do you know your bloodline? Personally, for me, if I was in her shoes, there's no way I would stay with Nicholas. And if Nicholas is hatching a plan, you would want to bring your wife into it, considering everything she's been through with Esme. Only thing that makes sense to me, in my eyes, at least. But anyways, I think I mentioned everybody here. I think that was just about everybody. Is that everybody? Yeah, just about everybody. What was your guys' take on GH this week, actually? I don't know. Where's your guys' take on GH? But that was that's my take on it, guys. I mean, this is a pretty short and sweet review. It might not be that short. It might be like 20 minutes when I'm done editing this all out. But that's my General Hospital review, guys. Everybody is scared of Carly. I'm scared of her too sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I'm scared of her too. I'm not scared of Sonny though for some reason. I don't know why. I'm not. Sonny never scared me. He just kind of like seemed like a coward. But now Sonny is just a good guy now. And see, it's weird. While the rest of the GH universe is hating Sonny, I'm loving him. I like McDonald's. I'm loving it. Anyways, guys, that's my General Hospital weekend review. Everybody's scared of Carly. Tell me what were some of your guys' favorite moments this week. And the question I have, thinking back to it with that video, do you guys feel like Robin is up there as one of the top General Hospital characters of all time? Not the top, but one of them. Would you guys say that's fair? At least on that part? I'm curious to know. But anyways, guys, that's my video for this week. This has been the Soap Sanctuary. And guys, I'm out.